Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praises to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Our legacy to the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing rivers and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praises to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Our legacy to the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing rivers and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom,
Good to go. Hello, Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians all over the world. It is a pleasure and a blessing for me to host this show with our beloved President, His Excellency Dr. Sako. I'll be introducing the President, who has a brief speech to talk to you, the people of Ambazonia, the people of Southern Cameroon, about so many things that concerns our ongoing struggle for the liberation of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. It is a great pleasure, like I said, and I hope we will have your ears and your attention from the minute that we are going to, as we are starting this program to the end. I will take this opportunity now to say, Mr. President, it is with great honor and pleasure to have you on this program. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Asanji. Thank you for the labor and the sacrifice you are making to bring us to a good finishing in our revolution. And for everyone like you, I just want to say thank you. Many of you are working from behind the scenes, but you are making a wonderful contribution. I want to bring a revolutionary greetings to our compatriots on ground zero, especially to our patriots who have passed to the world beyond. I want to say you will be remembered by our victory. It is always a pleasure for me to bring to you a message of hope. Our collective efforts have brought us this far. I wish to thank each and every one of you who have been a tremendous help in this cause, in the cause of actualizing our statehood. I must commend your efforts to everyone on ground zero, especially to all those of you who, through your resilience and your sacrifices, this revolution is still alive and gives assurance to every Ambazonian that victory is on sight. Our revolution is like a relay. Only the brave can successfully pass on the baton. A big thank you to everyone who have served and is serving the people of Ambazonia, whether in an official or an unofficial capacity. We all should remain strong and together. We all can agree that our revolution is evolving. We are compelled to stay proactive and practical in our activities. The initial step up of our interim government was made up of great men and women, very patriotic to say the least. But my idea for restructuring was not aimed at excluding anyone. No, but to seize the opportunities, to re-strategize and take advantage of the new phase of our revolution and struggle. I thought it was necessary to inject into the system new players, change the game plan, the game on the ground, and set on fire the ball in the camp of the enemy. Thank you for your support to enable the IG deliver on its assignment. This week, your long-awaited new cabinet was announced. Thank you for your overwhelming approval of my choice of leaders of our revolution at this time. The following were my criteria for appointments: individual track records in the revolution, or what some people like to call the struggle, the willingness the abilities and availabilities of our comrades, our vision and strategy going forward. Number 4, classified background checks or results from classified background checks. Then number 5, the majority opinion of the Restoration Council. As you may have noticed, some positions were discontinued in the government. This was in line with Conclave 4 preference for a lean government. We, however, have officially mandated all departments of state to put in place a 10-man think tank or working group to render our new departments or our few departments more efficient. I want to use this opportunity to thank all those who officially served in various offices which have been discontinued to continue to find ways to serve, especially within the various departmental think tanks and working groups. We have also noticed with disgust the maneuvers of the French President Emmanuel Macron to bribe the Nigerian government to work against the Southern Cameroon's legitimate efforts towards self-determination. They are using lies, hand-twisting, manipulation, and corruption to ensure the complete massacre of our innocent people. Our case is an international one, let me remind Mr. Macron. We are not trying to carve out our nation from French Cameroon. We already are a separate nation with internationally recognized boundaries drawn by the League of Nations since 1929. So, calling us secessionists or putting us together with terrorists when there is no act of union in the United Nations bringing together our two nations as one nation is dishonest. The French president should know better than this. By calling us a genuine pro-independence movement terrorist, he is officially endorsing the genocide perpetrated in Southern Cameroon by Paul Biya on our people. This Macron, President Macron, is the mastermind of Biya's war in Southern Cameroon, proclaimed since December 30th, 2017 on our people. We call on the no-nonsense government of His Excellency Donald J. Trump and the good leaders of this world to come to our plight and do the right thing. Let us go in peace and as a strong and united peace. We want to go in as a strong and united peace. Don't destroy our nation before we have it. We want it in a strong and united peace. We need your help. I want to use this opportunity also to condemn in the strongest terms the housing of some French Cameroon troops by some of ours, persons or institutions. Doing so voluntarily makes that individual or institution a co-conspirator with our enemies. Those who are also falling for the bribes and the corrupt practices of the Franco-Biya genocidal machine and are secretly eliminating our genuine amber defenders are warned. You cannot win the people of Southern Cameroon and Bazonia. You cannot win a war against us. I will give the mic back to our activist, Mr. Asanji, to channel questions he may have received from the public so I can give some answers as we proceed in this program. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much for a wonderful speech, for a speech that I think was full of substance. My first question to you, Mr. President, is I hear the confidence you are placing in the new cabinet. I would like you to tell us how that will help to enforce effectivity during this new phase of our revolution. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Sanji, thank you. As I said in my intro, I focus on some 5 criteria. The individual's track record in this revolution was examined. Their willingness and their abilities and their availabilities. Some people are very able, but they are not available. Some people are able and available, but they are not willing. So we found those who are willing and available and they are able. But that doesn't mean they can do everything. So we count on these ones. And also, we have our vision. And I will be talking a little about our vision. And we thought that these people will be able to incarnate this vision to take us to Buea at this time faster than we expect. And we also made our own background checks and we also leaned on the wisdom of the Restoration Council to arrive at the final names that we chose. So I believe that these people, we are not here because we are the best that Amba can produce. But sometimes time and chance brings people into positions. But we'll be able to verify, to make this choice based on certain criteria. But our ability to deliver will depend on many other things. These people that have been nominated are heads, and a body is not made just of a head. It must have a good neck, it must have some good shoulders that can carry it, and a stomach that will feed it up, and then some legs that can carry it around. So that is why we decided that they will be surrounded by think tanks of at least 10 people and working groups, and we have asked them to get the best they can get as their as chiefs of staff that will be recommended and will be recognized by the presidency, so that together as a team, these departments can become very effective. I believe that with this organization and this kind of support, they will perform. They will be able to deliver. So that's my confidence. My confidence is that they are willing, they are able, they are available, and they will be surrounded by some of the best that they can work together as one unit and deliver the results for Amazonia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. All I hear from that response is teamwork, which is very, very vital in the success of every organization, in every team, in every group. Thank you for that wonderful response. My second question will go to we understand as well that ever since you took over office, your primary objective has been ground zero. Now, how does this cabinet reflect a team of realization of such a dream?
Yeah, trust me, these people who are here now are ground zero bound. If you talk with any of them, you will know their heart is on ground zero, because we have realized that this revolution, unlike what some people think, is not diaspora-led, is ground zero-led. This revolution belongs to ground zero. We're just giving expression to that revolution. We are just catalysts. We are enablers. We are just supporting what is happening. The revolution is a ground zero thing. It is owned by ground zero. And that's why I give them respect. I mean, those mothers who close their doors and open their shops and close them on the ghost town days, or the boys in the trenches running for their lives, and those resisting the terrorists in any way, those are the owners of this revolution. And so we have people now whose heart is after these people, who are going to do anything possible within the law to help them stand their ground, resist till the end. Because if they fail, we fail. So I believe that the people who are here and the committees, they understand our vision, and they will work according to our vision. Our vision is to change the game on the ground, and that was my promise from day one. And those of you who are watching and who are doing so objectively will tell us that a lot has changed, because by that statement, I changed the focus of things. I focus the energy on ground zero, and I focus resources on ground zero. I focus organization towards ground zero, and a lot of things are changing. And they're changing because ground zero is changing. The temperature is changing. The emphasis are changing. And even the results can be seen from far and wide. So our vision will continue to be ground zero. I want to make bold to say that we are going to move from a pushback to a pushover. Up to now, we have been able to push back. We have been able to push back. And that's why we have not been completely annihilated. And that's why we still have some villages standing. That's why we still have some cities still standing and with our people alive. If otherwise, the Franco-Bia government does not mind if they can wipe out the southern Cameroons as a people and only keep our land and its resources. So we are going to change the game even further from a pushback to a pushover, empowered by empowering those who are ready to resist till the end. That is our vision, to seek and secure reliable groups and people who can support our revolution. And also, our vision is to prepare the interim government to hit the ground running. I want to tell you that we are getting ourselves ready to land in Buea and to hit the ground running. That means what? We must be ready financially, security-wise. Administratively, we must prepare ourselves. How to resettle our refugees and our IDPs because we are not going to be celebrating in Buea while our own are still across the border and they have no homes to come and stay. So we have to make sure that we are prepared as a government for D-Day to hit the ground running. That's the vision, grosso modo. And I hate to discuss strategies on media, but I will find out what I can say and what I cannot say as we proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our humble president, Dr. Ukame Sako. I think that response was really beautiful. It has touched a lot of other questions that I had. So my next question will be, I think it is not a secret to any activist of Ambazonian descent or anybody that follows our struggle from the beginning to this point in time. I think we have come to understand that it has been a challenging task to create a collaborative platform between a few frontline leaders. Could you please reflect your new structure as an enabling environment for such a purposeful collaboration?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Sanji. I came on board extending my hand to every genuine nationalist movement that stands for the complete restoration of our independence. And I have not stopped doing so. But I also discovered that for issues of collaboration to take place, there are a lot of things that need to be ironed out in secret, because there is superficial collaboration and there is genuine collaboration. When you bring in the cameras and the media and you talk about collaboration, you will get the smiles, you will get the camera and the photo effects, and then we will hold hands, embraces and handshakes and pictures. Sometimes that's just a show, because the real differences that make collaboration difficult are not addressed in such occasions. So I sought to create platforms where we can come together as leaders or as movements, and in those platforms, based on what has to be done, differences are addressed, issues are addressed, details are discussed, no common ground is found, methodologies are adopted, and then we are able to agree on something and work together. That is very important. That is very important. But when so in this government, you can see that we had a Department of Education. You can see that the name has been extended to include strategic collaboration. That's to tell you that department shall be focused. The focus of that Department of Education shall be collaboration. So in other words, we have set aside a department for collaboration, so that you know that it is the business of this IG to seek and find genuine collaboration with forces and stakeholders in this struggle. And there is a whole department in charge of that. And these are men of integrity who are respected across the board. So we believe that if we seek it with all our hearts and we are serious, we are not playing games, we shall find it. So I have told some people who try to induce collaboration by creating a conference that will all come there and talk. I said that will be superficial, and that will not address the details. There are issues that if I want to talk to my fellow comrade leaders, I cannot tell them in a conference setting. But if we have ways of meeting and talking over and having direct summits where we just meet with the purpose of discussing for the good of our struggle, we will be transparent to each other. We'll be able to talk some things over, agree. When we hold conferences so-called Conference of Unity and Collaboration, it should be an expression of what has taken place in private. It should not be something that, because you cannot induce it from outside. It has to happen from inside. Genuine love, even in the house, is not induced from outside. It has to come from within. And that's why I'm practical. I don't have time to waste. I don't want to go for shows. I want to do something. I want to do something and succeed. I don't like to fail. I don't like to be seen to fail. So my idea is that if we have come to the table at this time, if we have come to the realization that this is the time to collaborate, it's a good thing. So what is necessary? The leaders should say so. The leaders should meet separately, privately, unknown to anybody, just the leaders. We should meet. And when it has happened, then we organize a ceremony to announce it to the people. It doesn't happen the other way around. That's my take on this. And I will continue to pursue it the way I do. I am on talking terms with nearly all the leaders of frontline organizations, and I think we are making some progress trying to understand ourselves. When we do this and we are through, when we organize an external manifestation of that which has happened, it will be true, it will be legit, it will be lasting, and it will be effective. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think this is one of the most important aspects of this revolution. That is why I think, you see, I can see from your answer, it carries too much weight. It has taken a little bit more time than any other question that I've asked. I thank you so much for such a substantiative answer. I think we are moving in the right direction if we can all discuss with honesty and with the love that we all speak in public about Ambazonia, the love that we have for Ambazonia. I think you just nailed it there. Thank you very much. I'll go to I think you have already talked about the blueprint and the vision of your cabinet. I don't know if you could give us the stress more on that point, because I think that is an important point for our viewers, for our brothers and sisters who are on ground zero, who are our, let me say, main focus.
Yes. I would not like to discuss some strategies here, so I might do a little emphasis on the few things I've said.
Okay.
Make my brother them. May I talk this one for Pidgin? Make my brother them, my papa them, my me them, my junior them, my pikin them. Make una here. Say, with direction where would you go now? So, with direction where would you go now? So, now for Naboya. Naboya would you go? I don't say no easy. I don't say hard. But I want to tell you, say vision. The vision what they talk. Now the thing with me I dey see with my eye inside me. Now what they talk. And at the place where they go, now what they tell now. Say we don't tire. So some we boys they don't vex. They don't even come outside for place where they say it don't enough. Say they don't tire. Say they don't go back again. That means say the time, the clock, it black say the late. So we vision now say we no go just they push people them back, they run, they come back again, we push them back. Now we go push them over. They must fall, they must go down. We go push them so they go down. And we carry ourselves, we go carry, we leave them, plus we flag. We sing that song for Boya. Now so, now ahead. My vision na ground zero. Now so I mean say we go give on our support. I don't hear cry them. They cry them plenty. I don't hear plenty people. They don't write, they don't talk, they don't send audio. So one they will sabia and so one they will not sabia. So one they in a group they will don't already recognize them, so one a group will not recognize them yet. They all na picking them for Ambazonia. I want to assure and say we, as far as this interim government is concerned, forget about the talk we hear for social media. But I want to tell you, say we will give una every support. Where God will put them for our hand, we will put them for our hand. I feel assure you, because we already know. Say without ground zero, no struggle, no day. I know what you done for here. I know what the make noise for here. Without ground zero, nothing, no day like struggle for Ambazonia. So we will give una all the support, and everybody will stand for the correct side. We the join with La Republic for kill the struggle. We will give you every support where we feel gather. I talk say every support we go gather. Any kind support we go gather. We be good. We go feel help una. We go feel help we go for Boya quick than say we begin to wait again. plenty. Now the vision that we get them now. Now the vision that we all the people that we for government now. Now the vision that for the government. And we make sure say make that time be short. Make that time we go do it for boy. Make it short. One shot in that time. You not get for long again. Because we don't see una, I don't see una courage, I don't see una heart, I don't hear una cry, I don't see una sacrifice. I know say that time get for be short. And now so now the time. Now so all we are energy, all we are prayer, all we power, all with any thing we'll get them, it will go for ground zero now. May you pray, may wanna pray for we. Because you know, no turning back. The time is now. The time is now. We want to say may we reach for boy quick than people they think for their heart. Now my vision that. And we go do everything. We are not even talking for here. I know if we talk what we go do. But I want to say we go do everything. Where we God he give we power for do. And every good luck we go follow we as we try we best. We go gather them all for ground zero. We go push her all for ground zero. We go make sure say ground zero, the people the way they stand, they not go fall because we fail. We not go fail now. We go do our best. And I talk this talk so that may all people them where they there for diaspora. We will not know. Say anytime something not the work for ground, we not the ask na IG no. Anytime when something not the go, say we say IG day. So I challenge everybody where they for any side. Give IG. IG not sleep. IG not get everything we need them. Give IG what we need them. And that story it go fine. That journey go shorten. And because we are hard dinner for ground zero. Now say it.
That was powerful. Thank you. President. Since we are almost getting over with the time, but I would like to continue fast with these questions because they are really important. Considering the policy theorist that you are, what are your reasons for discontinuing some of the IG positions that were already there existing before you took over office? Don't you think that will overload responsibility and reduce efficiency?
No, I don't think so. I made an informed decision on some of the positions that were discontinued because some of them were just unnecessary duplication. I give you an example. There is a director of administration, there is a director of cabinet, a deputy director of cabinet, and a chief of staff. In a very small government like ours, tell me those four people I've mentioned there, what's their job? So if we say we want a lean government, we don't just create titles and positions and just truly they stay for about 2 months, they have not got anything to do. So I said, no, it's not a problem for those who occupy the positions. These are great patriots that are working, sacrificing. I respect very much. But I'm saying that things should be organized in a way that we don't just have a title, but we have a job to do. Personally, I could wipe out all the titles and let us just be known as workers for the revolution so that we can work without boundaries. I can call you, even though you are in charge of finance. If I know that you are a good writer, I can ask you to write something. But if you already have a title and that title has nothing to do, and probably you could be more useful in something, you cannot stretch. You say, this is my office, I have terms of reference, I have this. So I see these are positions that will be occupied when we are land, when we really have an establishment, so that there is work to be done in these offices. For now, in order not to spread our focus, in order to not to understaff the departments that are really operational, it's good for us to compress, to suspend some of those offices and see how those who occupy them can graciously belong to some of these think tanks where they can really be effective and contribute and make those departments effective. So that is it. That's it. every department, especially in the presidency, that was compressed. If you go and find out from the system that is now in place, you will see that it is accommodated within the existing departments of government. So that is what has been done, so that we are lean, we are focused and efficient.
Right. Thank you very much. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense
to me, and I believe it makes a lot of sense to most of our Ambazonians out there. We need efficiency, we need funds, and I think bringing down a number of people and work with the ones that are determined and really ready to work will really, create more impact. Thank you.
Ambassadors to countries. It was one of those things that after it was done initially, then we discovered that they were redundant. Because in reality, we don't have the capacity to exchange ambassadors with any country right now, because ambassadors are an exchange program. There must be exchange of letters of credence from one country. You receive my ambassador and I send you one. So we are not yet there. So there was no need for us to have ambassadors to countries. We're supposed to allow our representation in the various countries to actually be our ambassadors. That means these are supposed to be people who can represent us, our movement, our objectives, what we want to achieve in those two countries, mobilize for us, present our case, and that we did not need somebody with the title of an ambassador, but we needed a country coordinator or representative who can represent our government and its objectives in that place, without giving them the bogus title of ambassadors to that country. So, in restructuring, we decided to scrap that position out and giving that responsibility to the country executives. If the leader cannot do it, find somebody within your executive who will carry out the function of outreach to the government and the structures and institutions in place to promote our objectives. Then there are other institutions. These are diplomatic institutions where we need to find people to pursue our interests in. There's no requirement for exchange of credentials or things like that. But we just need to have somebody who is ahead of our mission to those diplomatic organizations. And so I thought that the Commonwealth is very important to us. The Francophone is very important to us in our struggle, probably not on our side, but is something we have to engage. The United Nations is, the EU is, and the Asia Pacific and even the North American organizations that comprise Canada, America, Mexico, and the South American states. These are all organizations that will be interested in our cases, where we have our files. We write, we correspond to, we're looking for allies and friends. So we can assign heads of missions to these organizations, and it will be normal, to say so. So that's what we have just done. It's just we are restructuring and trying to be effective and assigning titles and I mean assigning work to be done and not just titles.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'll go to the next question. The next question
this one I think is something that we hear almost every day. We hear of critics of the IG, they say weak IG. What makes this IG free from such insinuations? How strong is your IG from your perspective, Mr. President?
Everybody is a strong person depending on how you define it. So the suggestion of weak IG means there is a strong somebody somewhere. Who is strong in this revolution? We are not strong because we talk carelessly, because we talk recklessly. that doesn't make you strong. Or we talk shouting and screaming, that does not make you strong. I think the strength that moves the world is wisdom. It's wisdom and strategies. If you are not strategic, you are not wise, you are weak. Many people can listen to you talk from morning to evening and they laugh because you are not smart. You must, for strength, it should be measured in terms of your smartness and your ability to strategize, to coordinate, and to deliver results. That's strength. Anybody who knows where we were 4 months ago and where we are right now, with all that the IG has done and is doing, and calls that weakness, has to go back to the dictionary and find another word. We are not boasting. We don't have to boast to be anything. We are the government. And you know, in our political world, you cannot control activists and political actors on what words to use, which words are appropriate and which are not. And usually, also in politics, they can just cast a personality. They can create you. They can try to create you and make you that because they think that perception is reality. So they can keep talking about this and trying to to get it stick on you. We know who we are, and we know, and those people who care about this revolution, they know the mandate of the IG, and they can make their assessment. You don't allow somebody to tell you what you are seeing with your eyes. When you are seeing something, you make your own assessment. So we are focused, we are results-oriented, we are strategic, and we are not going to tolerate anything that will stand on our way and the way of the people of Ambazonia. We will not tolerate it. If we judge as an IG that this thing is detrimental to the revolution, to the people of Ambazonia, what they expect us to do, we shall not tolerate it. If you call that weakness in either way or wherever you belong, then go and ask the adversary. Probably he will tell you better. If it was the La Republique that was saying that the IG is weak, I would take that to be some feedback and some news so that I can go back and find out why they're saying so. But if it's some activist who is working because he has been given an assignment, probably and a remuneration, or he's working for an interest group, then let him talk, because there's nothing you can do to stop them from talking. Some people make their living by talking. Some people make their living by criticizing. Others make their living by just finding ways to spin everything, to stand against people, and they create their audience and they have their moment. That's their lifestyle. There's nothing you can do to stop that. We shouldn't even worry about that, because they cannot be you cannot change them, you cannot stop them. Let's do the right thing and keep going, moving forward. When we get to Boya, those people will still be singing their songs. But you know what? They will join us in the victory song.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. That was a brilliant answer. I love the part where you say, let's keep on doing the right thing. Doing the right thing will never
Throw you at the wrong doorstep. It will throw you at the very, very right one. Thank you so much for that. And we pray that our God will continue to give you grace and direction so you do only the right thing. I will go to a very important aspect of this revolution: finances. There's been allegations of misappropriation of funds here and there, back and forth. How does the new cabinet structure presents absolute control mechanism to avoid such in the near future?
Well, some people are expressing their fears. They are not expressing reality. And some people are trying to build mountains out of molehills. Somebody sends money to the government, probably $50, $100 by Western Union, and they want to know whether the money you received a certain receipt, whether the money was acknowledged. That means the official receipt that they gave was issued, and you don't even have evidence of what was done and what was not done. You call that serious. I saw the headlines on social media. Serious misappropriation. Well, I want to tell the people that, like Dr. Santos said, that if you are on social media, you should make sure that you have I don't know the therapy, the kind of drugs he said you should have, because you will always go off. You find yourself really your BP rising. So make sure you get some medication by your side if you live on social media, because they tell you the house is burning. When you go outside, it is raining. So that's what they will tell you. So make sure you know where you get your information. That's the truth. We are a government. Every other group is a small group of people with an executive. Sometimes there are no clear lines of accountability. But this is not the same with the government. That's a public thing, where there is a structure and there are people and there are processes and there are procedures. It's not possible. It's not what people imagine does not happen like that in the government, just anyhow. The only why it happens with La Republique is that the head is the problem. There's no oversight there's no system of oversight put in place. But that is not our case. We are smarter than that. From His Excellency Sako, we are smarter than that. When he chose the executive and put them in place and we adopted the structure, we were smart from the beginning. And now we are only making it even better. So, initially there were some lapses because we're moving from an association to an organized government. But those things were taken care of. And I want to assure everybody that we have a Department of Finance and Economy. It's not better than any department of government anywhere in the world, with some of the best that you can find anywhere in the world, with experience, with knowledge and training, and with an organization that assures checks and balances within, with a structure that requires accounts and audit to be given periodically. These things are all in place. When somebody says that, that's a joke. And let me also debunk this one, that there is a certain connection, they call it what, that they have put on the on our website, that will be able to siphon money from America to South Africa. Come on. Listen, when you go to a website, it is not the website that receives the money. It's true that you link, you join the, you have to log into the website, but you will see a portal where you need to pay money, right? That portal is a third-party service provider. The portal that receives the money is not the website. The website is just the door into the office. So when you enter that portal and you pay money, that money is not managed by the website. The money is managed by a professional organization, a large Fortune 500 company that received that money, and it has its own firewalls, because that's their business. They cannot receive money and some little hacker around is siphoning the money to South Africa. That is their work. If they cannot have a system that can receive money, protect, preserve it, and deliver it to their client, they will close down. You talk people like Mobile Call, people like PayPal, people like Green Tree. Those are mighty Fortune 500 organizations that have their firewalls. For you, a hacker, to break through their system, it means you really came from the moon. It's not an easy thing to say. So when they receive the money, they deliver it to us and they deliver it to our bank account. So you want to tell me that they have another funnel in bank of the major prime banks in the world. They also have a funnel there that they funnel the money through the bank and it goes to some place. That's the one of the greatest conspiracy theories I have heard in 2018. It is not happening, and it has not happened. If they are making prayers to the devil, let me tell them the prayer has not yet been answered because it is not happening.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much. Thank you, televiewers. Please, we'll beg your permission to take a minute break. I'll be right back. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, fellow Ambazonians, Southern Cameroonians. Once more, it's a pleasure to be with you on air today with our beloved and ever-present acting president, Dr. Sako. I would like us to continue with the question and answer session with our president. That he has been giving us from all his responses a wonderful, wonderful piece of information that I'm sure will encourage you on ground zero, most especially because from all the responses, from all his responses thus far, it has been all about ground zero. So, Mr. President, I will go to my next question. We understand that you have discussed a lot already about my trip to Boya, but many are not yet expecting to see much of its fruits on ground zero. How is your cabinet working to ensure the promise you made about my trip to Boya coming to life?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning my trip to Boya because that's one of the first things I thought I would talk about. And because I also intend to clarify some things, I was misunderstood. And thank you for this opportunity to make myself understood. My trip to Boya has and is doing a great job as far as ground zero is concerned. It's doing a good job, but it's not great enough because we just discovered that the rate at which resources came in did not match the rate at which the struggle increased. The needs of the struggle increased. The needs for the struggle increased tremendously. From dealing with just a few hundreds in need, and a few thousands in need, now to thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands in need. And then talk less of those our defenders on the ground. They also increased into their thousands. Our resources did not increase at that rate, but what we have been able to do, that we do, has led us this far. Sometimes you have had smiles on your face for what news you heard from Ground Zero. Without any publicity, you should understand that that is not just the labor of the boys on the ground, the people on the ground, but the sacrifices, most of which came through my trip to Boya. I know we are waiting for the big bang. And one thing I know is that it's very difficult to lead us when we are very anxious and even impatient at times. Myself, I get impatient. When I want something to be done in 2 days, and it has taken 3 days and I have not yet seen it, the excuses notwithstanding, I get impatient. And that is the state of every true warrior right now, from those of us who are supporting and those who are really engaged. The time is short. We want it right now. So that is why immediately we saw the trend, we saw the way things were going, we saw the need increasing faster than the resources. We needed to find ways and other ways to make sure that we don't fail as far as providing for the struggle is concerned. But I want to tell you that we have done and we are doing. If I will not tell you my numbers and my figures, my areas of focus and my achievements here, because some of them I still consider them in the classified. I want to tell you that we are. Anytime you say, yay, and somebody did not tell you I have been briefed, you should know that in 90 cases, 9 out of 10 cases, the IG is in action. So I want to assure you that is what I can tell you. And I want to also assure you that those of you who continue to make sacrifices, rest assured that we are making progress, and maybe that big bang is around the corner. The atmosphere is very tense. The stakes are high. The mobilizations are going on in the international scene, and many people are paying attention to the things I say right now, and I want to hold it there. I want to assure you that we have not relented, we have not stopped, we have only changed a gear. Let's wait. I told you last time that you will be seeing a lot of things without hearing from me. If you have eyes, open your eyes wide and watch from now, better than you did. If you're waiting for me to talk before you say, oh, I'm urging you to open your eyes wide and watch. That will be the method still going forward as we get to this very crucial juncture in our struggle. And I want to assure you that my trip to Boya remains right now the hope of the people to deliver the big bang that we are expecting. We are not yet there in terms of numbers. We are still challenging those people who are supposed to have made their payments. Some people did pledges. Some people intended to make a certain amount and then they we officially closed the program, but I want to assure you that the site is still open, the accounts are still open. Make sure you send in your money, because officially we might have stopped receiving, not talking about it, but we are unofficially continuing to do so, to receive the contributions until we get to Buea. Then I also made, I mentioned something that has been terribly misrepresented by the people who are trying to derail the opinions of the people. I said, and let me say it now better for everybody, I did not say that we have reserved my trip to Buea money to go and buy an aeroplane or open or establish an airline company. That's twisted. I don't know who says things like that and publicize them. I didn't say that. Here is what I said, and let me make it more elaborate today. A lot of people have made sacrifices, financial sacrifices, for my trip to Buea, so that we can support our refugees, our efforts on ground zero, to support our people who are in the trenches, to get us to Buea sooner than later. They have made sacrifices. If we get to Buea tomorrow, other people have made the sacrifices. Some have died. They have died, killed. Some are still in the trenches. They don't eat for days, struggling to defend themselves and defend their community. These people are making sacrifices. When we get our country back, this is what is going to happen. Countries will come in and tell us they want to invest. Companies will come in, they want to invest. They want to help us establish an airline company. They want to invest in our oil. They want to invest in our minerals. They want to invest on our roads and and so on. This is what normally happens. The government will say, we will own 51% of the shares, and then the foreign company will own 49%. But this is my idea concerning the people who have contributed to take us to Buea. As far as this administration is concerned, and I know that if His Excellency Sako comes out, he will not say anything different. The people who have sacrificed for this to take us to that place where we have a nation that people can come and invest shall not take all the benefits. The government that will be in place shall not take all the 51% to themselves. The policy should be about 10% will belong to the people of Ambazonia directly distributed to the people of Ambazonia. And then the other 40% will be there for the government, or for the 1%. So my saying is that people are going to come in 4 or 5 billion to establish a strong airline company, right? An airline company called Amba Airline. Under this principle and this philosophy, I'm saying that the people who have contributed to take us to Buea, because that airline company will be established when we get to Buea, not with our money, but people will bring money to establish the company. Then I will tell them, hey, Mr. Investor, there are people who have taken us to this Buea and made this your investment possible. I'll tell the government, remember those who have made this possible. Also remember the soldiers who died. Remember those who were in the trenches. They say, how many of them? I say, maybe I get the number, put the statistics together. There are about 10,000 who were fighting, and about 3,000 who donated, 5,000. I say 15,000 people will need to have about 10% of the shares of this airline company. And we call them and we give them all shares. Which company have I established with their money? I am thinking of a way of rewarding the people who are making the sacrifices right now to take us to Buea. That when we get to Buea, they will not be forgotten. That's just what I said. And I stand by that point. I said, the people who have donated for my trip to Buea, remember very well, you will not be forgotten when we get to Buea. With your coupon in your hand, you will be rewarded. The people who are fighting right now are making the progress, taking us to Buea. If we have your record, like the ASC is trying to have your names and your record, and the government is trying to have your names and your record, even if you die in the process, you have a family, you will not be forgotten, because we have you in our database. We will find a way to reward you with a portion of the wealth of our nation. That is what I meant. And that is a good thing that we are going to do going forward. We want every Ambazonian who is fighting to know that you are not just fighting for a nation, that some bureaucrats will come and sit there and investors will come from all over the world and you will be forgotten. So if you call that Wall Street, then I accept it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think this is one of those moments when you say something and it pierces through one's soul. I think that alone is encouragement enough for people to come in and do the right thing to contribute for the struggle. I think I want to take this moment to talk to say something to my brothers and sisters watching. It's not all about you. It's not all about me. It's about those children who are in the trenches. You see, you have seen videos of kids leaving their homes by force. They were forced away from their homes, trekking into forests of the unknown. They sleep there. They don't have what to eat. They don't have even quality water to drink. Yet we see out here in the diaspora, we still talk on social media. I believe we have a role to play, a role to make a change. Make a change, like Michael Jackson said. We need to make a change. This is an opportunity for every Ambazonian, every man, woman, boy, girl, who has that blood of Ambazonia in him or her, to do something that is right, that is honorable, contribute, support directly to your people on ground zero. They need you now more than ever before. I don't think there's any other thing I've done in this life as important as what I am doing right now. Supporting my brothers and sisters on ground zero. Supporting them, it all is the most important thing that I have seen or in me as the best part or as the best part of my life. I believe that most of us watching, we have that thinking too. We have that thought in our mind that it is the right thing we are doing. But some of us are afraid that it is too difficult. Some of us are afraid that it is impossible. My brothers and sisters, remember, the Israelites came out of Egypt not by their own, but by the grace of God. So Ambazonia will come out by the grace of God. And the grace of God will give you the power, the direction, the finances to support your brothers and sisters on ground zero. I pray that from the responses that you have heard from our father of the nation currently, that everybody will still dip their hands into their pockets to contribute as much as you can. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I want to tell my brother them and my sister them, because I don't see them plenty. I don't see una for bush. I don't see una for video. I don't hear una voices. I know how terrible it be to be alive at this time and to stand for the position we una stand for, fight a very terrible enemy. When I don't see una friend that die on the left, friend that die on the right, but when I still put them one side, give them graceful burial. You will still go ahead, say these people will not continue to rule our nation and keep us as slaves. We better die than to live as slaves. I want to assure, and I want to assure every family we don't lose anybody. I say, make sure say we get the full statistics. Make sure say if you fight, whether you fight for any group, even if you know they for ASC, make sure say maybe we try, we get your statistic, your name, and who will you be, and how you the labor. Look for a trusted person where you know say they no go sell you out. May we get that information, because may our information enter with database. I want to make this promise for now. Say when we get to Buea, some people they think say some people they will just fly somewhere, they can't take everything from the way. If you're a dog, we don't go hunting. You don't kill beef, you come, they just drive the dog, they carry the thing go. I want come for car assure and say, we the fight for the nation. The nation, what they call ourselves nation. When you stand for that ground, everything we do on the ground belongs to you, belongs to me. I come for car make assurance say, una the sacrifice with una blood, because you don't have money. You put your blood and your life on the line. I want to assure una, whether una then at 10,000, whether una then at 20,000, whether una then at 1 million, the resources for that nation is not going to be taken away without your portion. And they talk about direct portion. And then they talk the one where you say, okay, government get money, they give us free education, they build road for we know. You go get a direct stake on the resources of that nation. We go make sure she will give you a portion of the shares of that nation. If Cameroon, if Ambazonia government, it go get 60% of the share, 10-20 go direct to the people and the families that paid the price. I feel assure you that one. I go push that agenda right to the end. And I want to make the same promise to the people that way they did for diaspora, where they sacrifice their life. Some people they work with double job, just forget the money to support. I want to assure you, say when we get to Buea, even your sacrifice too shall be converted, shall be recognized, so that because you are a real stakeholder for the resources. None of the people that will bring their millions and their billions for can invest will take everything away. It will not be so. It will not be another La Republic. This is people's power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much once again. Mr. President, I have two more questions before I give you the floor to give your final closing statement. The next question will be, we have just, I think, if not this morning, we saw a post from one of our sisters. She was complaining, like saying that SCBC is down because for the past 2 months, the bills have not been paid by IG, it has been paid by maybe a third party or somebody else. Do you have anything to say about that?
But some people write because they are angry. Some people write because they know what they are writing. Some people write when they don't know what they are writing about. So I've not seen the post. I don't know. But if it's somebody who is in the administration that is saying like that, then you can take it serious. So forget about who said it. But I'm interested in the question. Now, with SCBC is 100% owned by the government, IG, and 100% funded by the IG. Include that. When I say 100%, I'm also including the people who are making sacrifices, working voluntarily to run that organization. But for the financial and the monetary part of it, the IG is paying the bills. The IG is not only paying the bills, it's paying the debts of the company and has paid 100% of the debts that the company ever owed. So sometimes with administration and the payments, there can be delays. And you know, in a capitalist world, when you delay in a payment, let me say, in terms of the transmission of the money, But right now, as I speak, the money has already been paid. But you know, it takes processes for monies to transfer between continents. So a delay of 1 day can cause a delay of 3 days. So that is what has happened. Anytime it has happened, it has been one of those delays. So there is nothing like who else is funding SCBC if it is not the IG? Who? Unless I don't know, nobody. We have paid 100% every time. Whatever needed to be paid, we have paid. And the people in SCBC should be able to give me some credit since I came here that I made it a priority for their bills to be paid. So if there is one lapse or something and money did not arrive on time, there's no bad blood. And I think I should be understood, or we should be understood as a government. So that is what it is. And I want to assure the people of Amazonia who depends on and on the people around the world who depends on those signals for information that your television will be on any moment, probably today. I'm expecting that it should be on today, or otherwise tomorrow. So we are going to make put rule and regulations in place to ensure that those lapses don't occur. Because if we had the permanent, sometimes like in the Americas, you sign a contract for about 2 years, right, with a company, so they know that it's a continuous thing. It's not like pay as you go. If you have a pay as you go, it means the moment your money expires, everything stops, and then if the money did not come on time, something is wrong. But some other service providers don't do that. You sign a contract for about 2 years, and they lock you up in a particular price, and you are paid. They don't just cut you off because you can give them a call and tell them this is what is happening. The money is being processed. The transfer has not arrived on time. This is what is happening. Your service will not be suspended. So those are some of the things we are going to work out in the next coming days. And I think I can promise the people of Amazonia better.
Okay. Thank you very much for that clarification, Mr. President. Thank you. I think that response has cleared a lot of doubt, a lot of suspicion, and it should be noted that the IG, from what Mr. President said, has been paying all the bills of SCBC.
Correct.
Mr. President,
my last question is it's just something that I have in mind. I just wanted to ask you, what do you think of the rumor that we have French soldiers on our soil helping our enemy?
I will not be surprised. We have received some videos and some images. We are trying to vet those images and ensure that we don't raise false alarms, because it's not good for our struggle. We want to be very sure that it is what it is, so that when we report it to some serious people, they should not take us for some jokes. But I also want to use the opportunity, while we try to verify the veracity of that information, I want to send it out as a warning that the French has no piece of our territory. We don't belong to the French hegemony, to the French in any way. We did not sign an accord de coopération with the French. We did not have any treaty of union with French Cameroon that should bring us under their control or in whatever way. So they don't have any right to step into our territory for whatsoever reason, especially for war. We are warning the French that this is a mistake. If it is happening, it's a mistake. Please don't come to our territory. Please don't bring your mercenaries to our territory. Because if you do this, there will be consequences. Because it is the French Cameroon that belongs to you, because they sold it to you. I just sold it to the French in 1959. with the accord de coopération. We did not. Whatever they have taken from us is through fraud and theft. It is not our territory. You have no right to step into our territory to put soldiers and troops in our territory. So there will be consequences, because in as much as we are struggling, there is this struggle, this separation that we want to establish between our countries, the Southern Cameroons and the French Cameroon. As much as that struggle goes on, we want to separate at the end, and everybody goes his own way. We have not taken the struggle into La République territory. We are just defending ourselves. Please, we want to defend ourselves against the one we see as our enemy. But if the French will continue to do what they are doing, and they want to come to our territory to help the enemy to annihilate us, because we know that you are coming with all the powers that you have to come and help somebody who is fighting against us to eliminate us as people. This is what I can tell you. We are 8 million strong. Let me reduce it to your numbers. We are 5 million strong. How many will you eliminate if you decide to use your mercenaries to come into our territory? How many will you kill if you decide to use your bombers to come and bomb us? Make sure you finish the 5 million. Because if you don't, we have no country again. We shall come over in our numbers and spread in your territory. And let us see what will remain again of that thing you call Cameroon. This is the truth. It's a natural thing that will happen. I'm not threatening it. If you start bombing us now in our territory as you are threatening, as you are sending mercenaries to do, then we shall run away from our territory. Natural. The natural reaction is that we shall run from our territory, and we shall run with whatever we have and enter your own country, where you have power, which was sold to the French. We shall enter your own country, and let us see what will remain. What will remain? Even if it's just 100,000 that enter your territory, let me see what will remain of that thing you call Cameroon. And it's just a warning. Don't come and take us out of our hiding place. We are hiding in our motherland, the land that belongs to us. If you want to come and bomb us out and come and use whatever you think you can use, okay, then we don't have a home. We can call our own or fight for again. We shall cross over. That is a promise.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much, televiewers,
for your patience, for your ears widely open, and attention to this great show. Mr. President, I think we have talked a lot, and I think it's about time we come to a close. I would like you to give your closing statement to your people before we end the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My closing show is my trip to Buea. My closing statement is my trip to Buea. Closing appeal is my trip to Buea. I want to say that right now, officially closed, we are putting our statements in place. The accounts are being worked on with the webmaster and the rest. We are reconciling them and providing our statements. We will have them correctly done. So that time I hastened to give you some snippets of things that will happen after my trip to Buea, because we want the big money. We want the big money because there is some heavy lifting that we have to do before we get to Buea. But I want to assure those people who have made up their minds to contribute to my trip to Buea, while you are still listening to me before I make my final stop, go to www.mytriptobuea and complete that pledge that you started, that you made. Complete it. because you cannot stop, because you made it because of the weight of the responsibility that you saw on the shoulders of the IG, and you said, I will make this sacrifice. That weight has not lightened, it has rather increased. The burden has increased. So go now and make that sacrifice, and make it now. Make it now, and encourage somebody to make his if he actually made a pledge. And let the webmasters keep reminding those who made pledges to make sure that they don't tarry, they don't waste a lot of time. They make up the money that they pledged. And for countries and for different people, different communities that also made the same pledges, I want to encourage you to make up your pledge, because the struggle continues. Keep making up those pledges until we tell you something else to do. And then I want to encourage the people of Ground Zero that if it depends on me, this revolution will not fail. If there's anything I can do that I must do while I am seated here and breathing, this revolution will not fail. So let me ask those of you who are also givers, who are sowing, if it depends on you, will this revolution fail? And let me ask those in the trenches and those who they hear a lot of videos and see a lot of audios, see a lot of videos and hear a lot of audios, and some people are getting discouraged. You don't know that the enemy is also manipulating. Sometimes they produce their own audios, and beware of audios that you don't see the faces. Because if enemy wants to manipulate you, he would rather use an audio than a video. Because a video, you might see some things. He can still use a video and do Photoshop. But he can do editing rather. But audios, be very careful. Audios, be very, very careful. Because most of the times, they are made by people who don't want their faces to be seen, because they are not who they say they are, and they want to pass out an information which they know. People will listen, people will hear, and some people will be convinced, some will be persuaded, some will be discouraged, some will be affected in one way or the other, and that's what they want to achieve. Be very careful. I want to ask you a question. If it depends on you, will this revolution fail? Let everybody bring his best on the table, so that we can get to Buea sooner than later. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I love you. May the struggle last even shorter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is an honor,
Just like I said from the beginning, it is a pleasure to have you on, to have you talk to your people, to have you talk to your mothers, to have you talk to your fathers, to have you talk to your brothers and sisters who are in Nigeria and on Ground Zero. I am very glad with the responses that you've given us. I think from those responses, a lot of people will be relieved, a lot of people must have been encouraged, a lot of people would take this revolution more seriously. Brothers and sisters of Ambazonia, brothers and sisters, mothers of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia, we love you, especially those of you on Ground Zero. You must have heard from the president, from every one of his responses. Ground Zero is the key, and that is what we mean, what we say, and I'm sure the president means what he says. Let's pray that God, who started this fight, will give our president the direction, the leadership, the team, the right team, as he has put together already to take us to Buea within the shortest period of time. Fellow brothers and sisters in the diaspora, I know we have too much on our plates, but we have an impossible task at hand that we cannot deny, that we cannot run away, we cannot shy away from. our brothers and sisters on ground zero needs us. We must play our part. This is an important part of your life, of my life. What have you done for your country, Ambazonia? Please sleep with that thought. What have you done? What can you do for your country, Ambazonia? It is very important we think about it. This is not our home. And like they always say, there's no place like home. If you don't want to go home when every one of your brothers, your sisters, your families, your aunts have been killed by an enemy that you know so well, that you had the opportunity to do something for them, but you stayed quiet, you stayed muted. Fellow Ambazonians in the diaspora, it is with love, it is with a deep heart of sorrow, because our people are going through a lot, that I'm calling upon us to be our brother's keeper, to be our sister's keeper. Let us contribute as much as we can to see them free, such that we can go back home and celebrate and dance and thank God for the great thing that He is already doing for us. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for spending so much time. Mr. President, do you have something to say? Hello? Hello?
Hail this land of glory, we the Amazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom, a legend to the hero who bowed the land with Diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia.